The whole world is looking for the next Iron Man. I don't know if I can live up to that.
I don't think Tony would have done what he did if he didn't know that you were going to be here after he was gone.
We have a job to do. You're coming with us?
Can you give that to MJ in case something happens to me?
Nothing's gonna happen to you. You got this.
Stark made you an Avenger. The world needs that.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Spider-Man Far From Home. So we've got some major deals about the Spider-Man character going forward as well. So if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the videos. So we are giving away the Hasbro Infinity Gauntlet Marvel Legends one. Looks pretty sick. I've featured it on my Instagram page at Warstu multiple times. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel with notifications on and let me know down below. Why are you so hyped for Spider-Man Far From Home? So let's get into this video. So there is a lot of details to go over. We're going to go over first why the Spider-Man deal is now over and how Spider-Man 3 could actually be in the Spideyverse in Sony instead of the MCU. So let's get over it. So everyone for some reason seems to think that the Spider-Man deal ends after Spider-Man 3. No, that is 100% incorrect. The actual deal is Civil War, Infinity War, EndGame being 3 movies, and Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, which is a total of 5 movies, not 6. Now, Marvel must feel really annoyed that the featurette of Spider-Man inside Far From Home and Infinity War weren't very big roles, really. So what does this mean? It means absolutely nothing. I mean, there is going to be Spider-Man 3, but we don't know if it's going to take part in the MCU or if it's actually going to take part in the Sonyverse, which would make more sense to me because obviously they own all the characters like Kraven the Hunter, Venom, Norman Osborn, blah blah blah, etc. So that would make more sense if they were going to do it like that. But there could already be a secret deal where the future of Spider-Man is going to be secure in the MCU. But seeing as how Amy Pascal has actually left Sony, I think it's going to be pretty hard for them to keep on to that character. So a lot of people are misconstrued and misleading how they think Spider-Man 3 is part of the MCU, where it could be, but the current deal was 5 movies. It's now over. Now, a lot over this past week, everyone's talking about Deadpool being in Spider-Man 3. Well, if Spider-Man 3 is set inside the Sonyverse, that's not going to ever happen. And the creator of Deadpool did say himself, why would Marvel give a property to another studio? Because although the current Marvel movies are made by Marvel, they're licensed and distributed by Sony, so it makes a lot of sense. So the kind of report about Deadpool being in Spider-Man 3 was pretty bogus, and then we had a report from someone who's got much more credibility in the community, someone called Roger on Twitter, who literally stated multiple facts about EndGame months before it came out. So it appears that if any of this info is true, that Sony want desperately Tom Hardy to appear in Spider-Man 3 and not Deadpool. So that is interesting. So we are going to go over a recent plot leak, you could say. So careful for spoilers, and also guys, there actually is a Spider-Man Far From Home screener happening in the next 24 hours. So if you don't want to know anything, if you don't want me to ruin your life, stay off Reddit, stay off 4chan, because I guarantee real spoilers will be out. Now, the only reason we're going over this said post-credit scene is because there's a lot of information already out. The latest trailer TV spot for Spider-Man Far From Home actually gives away the post-credit scene in a sense. And what are we talking about? We are talking about the Stark Tower, the Avengers Tower that was crushed during Infinity War and EndGame, and now in the most recent TV spot, it looks fixed and looks repaired, and it's linked to the post-credit scene, mid-credit scene. They're the same thing, really, in Spider-Man Far From Home. So, careful spoilers if you don't want me to ruin your life. So, yes, this is coming from Reddit, but it was posted 20 days, so it's got a lot of validity, and it really is accurate in my opinion. So it is supposedly posted by someone who specifically worked on this post-credit scene, so they know exactly what is going on. So let's go over it. The mid-credit scene starts off in a dark room with chilling villainous music. A defeated and sad looking Mysterio looked out the window from a skyscraper at nighttime. The view of the shot is within the building looking outwards, so you can't see the building itself, which is interesting because the shot we got on the latest TV spot for Spider-Man Far From Home, we see the building, but we don't see the logo. Now, everyone is expecting the Oscorp, Norman Osborn, Green Goblin to be involved. Now, this is where it gets interesting. A voice is heard in the background which sounds Russian, which says something like, "He beat us once, but soon he is going to pay." Mysterio turns around. The voice is revealed to be from Chameleon in his costume. Mysterio then says, "Dimitri, thanks for having my back out there." Chameleon replies with, "Don't worry, there are more of us." Right then, the music gets darker. Wow. The Vulture, similar outfit as Homecoming with a few minor modifications. Scorpion outfit, similar to the comics, but a few differences. Shocker, different outfit than Homecoming. It looks like the red and yellow suit from the comics. And a man in a business suit walks in from another room. The businessman gathers the villains together and says, "I have a proposal." That's going to be pretty sick. The camera pans out to the outside of the building, which is the old Stark Avengers Tower, which has the name Oscorp in large green font at the same spot the Stark logo was, and it shows it for a few seconds. The scene ends here. It was about a 45-second scene, but I've only seen the whole clip twice. I couldn't tell you if the businessman was indeed Norman Osborn or if he was simply an assistant, but I don't know the actor playing him. I don't know much about the actors. He was probably a B-lister. The scene obviously sets up the Sinister Six, which will probably be further explored in the MCU. I was shown the whole clip, and that's it. So why this is interesting is because, as I said, in the latest TV spot for Spider-Man Far From Home, we actually get the reveal of the building, but we're not going to see what logo's on it until the post-credit scene for Spider-Man Far From Home. But why this is all interesting is because, like I said, Spider-Man 3 is not a gimme. There is an option for the MCU to have it, but it's not set in stone. So everyone online keeps saying, yeah, Spider-Man's in the MCU to release Spider-Man 3. But where are you pulling your information from? Because if you actually look online, that is not the case. The deal is the current deal publicly. The public deal that we know about will end after Spider-Man Far From Home. Do I see Spider-Man leaving the MCU? No. But it would be interesting if Spider-Man did leave the MCU. As we know, Tom Holland has said multiple times he would keep making this, he would keep being Spider-Man for the next 20 to 30 years if they want him to, which is interesting that an actor so young is so committed to that role that if he was to do this, he would destroy Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, being the longest serving superhero in one role, I guess you could say. So that is interesting. So the Dark Avengers, it keeps appearing everywhere. On every plot leak, there is something about the Dark Avengers or the Sinister Six, which in the MCU, they're most likely going to merge them together and just make it one. So we've known about the Sinister Six for years. I've been saying that Spider-Man Far From Home is going to set up the Dark Avengers Sinister Six for years. And it is interesting that Chameleon hasn't officially been revealed to be in the movie, but we do see Dimitri, who appears to be Nick Fury's, if this is Nick Fury, we don't know if it actually officially is Nick Fury, appears to be Nick Fury's assistant, but that is the only name they're giving him. So is Spider-Man going to stay inside the MCU? Well, hopefully it makes a lot of sense, but only if Sony allow Marvel to use all the other characters that are required for, I guess you could say, the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, which would be cool because that would be so interesting to see. We've already been introduced to the likes of Vulture, Scorpion, etc. So they've literally got all the pieces they need to form the Sinister Six. They just need someone to control them. But the interesting thing here is this storyline, this post-credit scene, it literally sounds like a rip-off of the Spider-Man PS4 game that was made by Insomniac Games, when essentially it forms that Norman Osborn's son isn't dead and there's going to be some major twists, and obviously Harry Osborn is still in it, and obviously Norman Osborn is going to turn into Green Goblin. It just seems very, very similar to that storyline, to be fair. If they were to rip that storyline off, no one would flick an eyelid or something like that because it's such a cool story. But it's going to be very interesting for Spider-Man going forward because Everyone knows it's coming. It's just how are they going to play it off? So like I said, guys, there is a screener for Spider-Man Far From Home happening very soon. So if you don't want anyone to ruin your life, I suggest you stay off Reddit and 4chan, because the plot leaks will come out fast and thick. You know how people work, but Sony must be very, very confident in their movie to have screeners this far out. Obviously, these are only screeners for the big boys, like the comicbook.com, the really big websites, so other people won't be getting screeners to close to release of July. But it is interesting. It's also interesting that China is getting Spider-Man Far From Home 1 week before the rest of the world. So it seems like they don't really care about spoilers getting out, because this movie probably kill it. I mean, hopefully this movie does $1 billion. Obviously, Spider-Man Homecoming didn't really do that well. I know, it beat Venom, guys, yeah, but only just. Yeah, I know Venom did very well in China, but at the end of the day, it's not about domestic sales, it's about the overall sales. The domestic doesn't really matter, because take EndGame, for instance. If you only went by domestic, then it wouldn't have hit 2 billion, would it? No, because you need international, you need UK, you need all the other countries combined. So guys, let me know down below, what are you most looking forward to in this movie? Obviously, Sinister 6 build-up is going to be insane, and this is before we talk about all the crazy theories that Mysterio isn't really in the movie and he is Loki. Yeah, I did a video about that. That'll be in the description box, or it'll be in the card at the end. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you got any videos you want me to do, any requested videos, all you got to do is let me know down below. And if you do want to reach out to me for any business inquiries or anything like that, it's warstubusiness@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. We are still on that grind for 100,000 subscribers, and when we hit 100,000 subscribers, if we ever hit that number, I will be giving away a PS4 Pro or an Xbox One X or a PS5 or the new Xbox if it takes that long. But the thing about this channel, guys, is the competitions are real over here on this channel. So like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.